Hey cutie! Today we're going to be recreating Stella from Hearts to Hearts makeup look. This was the winner of the poll that I ran a while back and she won by a long shot. So I can tell that you guys are very excited to see this and I can't wait to try to do this transformation. For today's look, we're going to start with this blue colored tone-up base. I'm not exactly sure what Stella's color season is, but since she looks so good as a blonde, I have a feeling she might be a summer. Let's apply my foundation. And then pat it in with your cushion. I want my base today to be super flawless, so I'm going to go in with this Deceique Pro Concealer palette. And I'm going to take this kind of salmon color and put it under my dark eye circles to cancel them out. And then I'm going to use this more medium color to just cancel out some of the extra redness on my nose. You can also use the green color to cancel redness. And then I'm going to tap that in with my cushion. My skin's feeling a little dry at this point, so I'm going to spray this Caudalie Beauty Elixir and just tap that in as well. For Stella's makeup look, I noticed that it has a very heavy blush here, so I'm going to start with some color products just to lay it out on my face so that I can get a sense of the whole look. I'm going to use the Dior blush. I think this color will work perfectly. And I'm going to be fairly heavy-handed with this one. We're focusing the color on the apples of our cheeks as well as on our nose bridge and sort of just connecting those two areas together. And I'm also going to add a little bit of blush on my chin and a little bit on my eyelids. And I'm probably going to go back and add more blush at the end, but for now, let's quickly line our lips. Let's try Peony Ballet from Romand. I hope that this will give me the color I'm looking for. And let's also lighten my eyebrows before we get any further because she has definitely bleached her eyebrows to match her blonde and my dark eyebrows are very distracting right now. And I'm going to draw my eyebrows in with a crayon that I usually use for my Aiguille Salt because I don't have anything that would work on blonde eyebrows. I'm basically just trying to get my eyebrows a little bit thicker since Stella's eyebrows are really nice and wide. I'm just going to brush that out a little bit. Today I'm going to be using Clio's Mute Library. Stella's eye makeup is fairly neutral, so we're going to be using a lot of these nudie shades. And I'm going to start by laying down this kind of base shade. The last time I was visiting Korea, I actually happened to come by Hearts to Hearts as they were doing a promotion in a store, and I was only able to see them from the street outside the store, but oh my gosh, when I tell you their visual is so insane, even from that far away, you could tell they were absolute beauties. I was talking to my friend about this recently, but we both feel like when K-pop rookies used to debut, they'd have like that kind of awkward phase, you know, like when we were all going through puberty type thing and when the styling wasn't quite there yet, or maybe the budget wasn't there. And these days it feels like these new idols debut and they get to skip all of that. They just debut like goddesses. I kind of feel like that awkward ugly phase is a rite of passage. And it's also really nice to be able to look at those beginnings of idols' careers and see them in a more human form. And to be honest, sometimes it helps with my own self-image because I'm like, oh, even idols had an awkward phase. Let's add the eyeliner real quick. I'm going to do the foundation of it with this Holika powder. Stella's eyeliner is pretty straight, I think, so we're not going to pull it too much upwards. I'm just sort of stamping along my lash line here. I see that she opens her inner corner a little bit, so I'm going to do that as well. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other eye. We're keeping the eye makeup relatively simple because, in my opinion, Stella's eyes mostly focuses on the lashes. So now we're going to curl our lashes, do a coat of mascara, and apply some Idol style false eyelashes. I'm using the Clio Kill Lash Mascara. Still loving this one. So good at separating out your lashes and not being clumpy. I've been using this Idol style strip lash for a while. I know I usually prefer lash clusters, but sometimes when I'm feeling lazy, a lash strip is just so much faster to apply. And there it is on. With lash strips, I recommend putting extra glue on the front end and on the tail end so that it sits better on your lash line. And with lash strips especially, you need to make sure you go in with an eyeliner to sort of connect that gap between the band and your natural lash line so that it doesn't look super fake. For the under eye area, we're going to go in with my favorite crayon from art class. This is in shade Dusk, and we're going to open up that outer bottom triangle. And you can also use this for your Aegis-El. Blend it out a little bit with the fluffy brush that comes on the other side. I'm going to add a little bit of our blush color to the bottom part of our Aegis-El just to plump it up a little bit. Now let's move on to our lower lash line. For the lower lashes, I'm going to curl them with my heated eyelash curler. This one I just got for super cheap off of Amazon. It heats up really fast and you just have to be a little bit careful with it. And now I'm gonna go back in with the Clio. Stella's been rocking those super pretty Idol lenses that have that dramatic highlight. I love these weighted lenses from Lemonade so much. They have a fixed axis so that the highlighted part doesn't spin and make you look cross-eyed and crazy. If you shop with Momolens, you can use my code NickNoel to save 15%. And this isn't sponsored at all, by the way. I just really love these lenses, so I begged Momolens for a code because I want you guys to be able to save money if you're buying the things that I'm recommending. Let me quickly do the left side and then we'll finish up the makeup look. That's pretty much it for the eye makeup, so let's move on to contouring, starting with the Fenty Beauty Matchsticks. We're going to go over it with a powder contour to make it a bit more dramatic and noticeable. Starting with this lighter side, we're going to put it on the edge of where the crayon contour ends, and then we can take the darker medium shades and put that on the outer edge. I'm gonna add a little more to my cheekbone, and I'm gonna add a tiny bit to my forehead just right here. We can't forget about our nose contour using the Out of Office contour pencil. And if I seem a little bit less chatty than usual, it's just because I'm honestly really tired. I just took a big exam and I spent so much time prepping for it last week. And I always knew that this month was going to be challenging for me as a content creator since I knew I had this exam coming up. But for me, this was like a way to prove that I was able to manage my time well and still stick to the posting schedule of dropping a video every Tuesday, even when I have deadlines in my professional and academic life. Especially because my poll got so many votes this time. I don't even know how I got that many votes when I just hit 1,000 subscribers, but seeing that level of excitement from y'all made me very determined to pull off this look well and pull it off on schedule. So I really thank you guys for your support, and just know that it means so very much to me. We are approaching the finish line here, so let's set our face real quick before I go back in and just fix some things and maybe add a couple details. The look that I'm referencing from Stella is actually quite matte, so I'm going to be a little more heavy-handed with my pressed powder, focusing on the area under my eye, as well as the nasolabial crease, my nostrils, the area under the mouth corner. I also really like to do my brow ridge. Pressed powder will always kind of delete the colors on your face, so we're going back in again with the Dior blush to add that color back. This time we're going to use a less dense brush, place it over the areas that need a bit more color. I'm just going to add a little bit back to my chin as well. And last but not least, we need to add Stella's iconic under eye mole. So I'm going to be using the Peripera freckle pen for this, right under my aegis-saw. And she also has a mole on her mid cheek, which I happen to have one too. So I'm just going to emphasize that one. And I almost forgot to add highlight. We need to go back and do a little bit of highlighting. I'm going to use the Shining Linen Frottage pencil. Again, another one of my favorites. And I'm going to place it on my aegis-saw, as well as my inner corner and the tip of my nose, and also on my cupid's bow. Let me change my hair and I'll be right back.
You know what he said to me? He was like, "You're so rude." And I was like, "Boy, does it look like I could care? I couldn't even care less."
And this is the finished look. I haven't put on a wig since I cosplayed the last time in high school, so this is probably not a very good job, but it's fun and it's very different from my normal hair. Let me know in the comments if you think I did a good job transforming into Stella from Hearts to Hearts, and also let me know if there are any looks that you want me to try and recreate in the future. And just another reminder that my Q&A video will be posted next Tuesday, so be sure to leave any questions that you might have for me that you want me to include in that video, and I'll see you soon.